Hello, hello, hello. It's Joanne Musa, the Tax Lien Lady. And let me adjust this so you guys can hear me a little better. There we go. Um, and this is Ask the Tax Lien Lady Live, where I answer your questions on my Facebook business page. So let me know who you are, where you're from. Hi, Ray. Good to see you again. Excuse me just a minute. I got a little frog in my throat. And hi, Nicole. Thanks for being here. Nicole is my assistant and she helps me out because I'm doing this from StreamYard, not on Facebook. That way I don't get an echo and it's just easier for me to do it this way on this page, on my Facebook business page. So let me know what questions you have. And Ray, you're the first person here today. Let me know, first of all, did you come to the conference that I did on Wednesday, the Investing for Success conference? And how did you like it? What did you like about it? And also, did you see the survey that I sent out today? Did you have a chance to fill out the survey that I sent out today? So, hello, everybody. Let me know who you are when you come on. And also let me know if you went to the conference that I did on Wednesday. It was a live virtual Investing for Success conference. I had some great interviews with some great experts on different topics. I'd like to know what you thought about them. So let me know if you did go to the conference. And if you did get a chance to complete the survey. By the way, I had a real short survey. It will take you less than a minute to do. It's only 3 questions. And it went out today in today's newsletter. So let me know if you went to the conference and if you saw the survey. And of course, if you have questions, I am here to answer them if you have questions about tax lien investing. So we have a question from Tenny Peanuts. What is the process buying a tax deed with the property being occupied in Alabama? How do you approach the people? I got to tell you, first of all, anybody that says they're an expert everywhere in the state is pulling your leg because it's very different in every state. And Alabama is not one of my favorite states. I have members and clients who have invested in Alabama, and they're having some trouble there right now. And the trouble that they're having right now is trouble that they're having in a lot of states, is foreclosing on their tax lien properties. But Alabama in particular is not very friendly to investors. And recently, during COVID, they overturned some tax sales. A judge overturned tax sales in Alabama during COVID. Like I said, it's not an investor-friendly state, and I'm not crazy about it. But as far as the process for buying a tax deed with the property being occupied, you would buy the tax deed in the normal way, and then it is up to you to evict who's ever living there. Okay. And that process, again, it's different in every state. Usually you have to go through the sheriff's office. You have to do an eviction. Okay. And then once you get the eviction, then you have to go through the sheriff's office and have the sheriff do the actual eviction. I know here in Pennsylvania where I live, you would have to get a judgment first for the eviction. And you would do that, you would go to the magistrate to get that, not at the county level, at the township level. And then you would have to go to the sheriff's office to get the eviction done. Okay. You get a judgment for the eviction, and then you'd have to, now how it works in Alabama, I'm not certain. And Ray is with us, and he has some experience there. So he says, yes, oh, yes, he went to the conference, was familiar with many of the speakers about apartments and notes, which I do already, and found The most valuable was the lady about mindset. Okay, Ray, I want you to tell me which lady, because I had a couple different ones. The very first one in the morning that kicked it off was Marnie Pearson Kunz. She had a very interesting story. And then I had another one talk about God's economy. That was Dr. Carrie Skrdla. And she gave away a course. Actually, both Marnie and Carrie gave away courses. Marnie gave away a course about the spirit-led, it was either the spirit-led business or the spirit-led life. Her book is right here. I have her book, The Spirit-Led Business. Okay, but the course I think is called The Spirit-Led Life. Let me shut my phone off here. Yeah, her course is The Spirit-Led Life, which I've been through, and it's a great course. So that's the one that Marnie gave away. And Dr. Carrie Skrdla gave away a course called Operating in God's Economy, and that's a $250 course. I've gone through that, and that's excellent. That's why I had her. I did lesson one of that course, and I said, I've got to get that lady on as one of the experts. And so that's how I got her on. And then we had a phone conversation and we really hit it off. So I hope to do more with her in the future. Actually, what I'd like to do is I'm planning another conference, but not 6-hour conference, maybe just a 2.5, 3-hour conference with 5 to 6 experts. But I want it to be an all-female conference. So I'll bring the women back, right, for that. And I'll have a couple of new ones that I wanted to get for this one, but I couldn't get them. Okay. All right. And Ray says he knows an attorney in Alabama who can help you and has a group. We like the vacant houses, and there are plenty. Just avoid the ones with occupants. So yeah, it is a little tricky when they're occupied in that state, in Alabama, because they are not friendly to investors. Okay. All right. Alabama is a tax certificate for 3 years before it becomes a tax deed, and it could take even longer. All right. And it needs 3 more years after that. So 6 years. However, it can be good if you know what you're doing. Yeah. What Ray is saying is it's got to be delinquent 3 years before it goes into the tax lien sale. And then you've got to hold it. This is another reason why I don't like Alabama for tax liens, because you've got to hold that tax lien certificate for 3 years before you can foreclose. And then what can happen is the judges are making it take even longer than that. And they're not friendly towards investors. Okay, all right. The second lady with the spiritual course about prosperity. Operating in God's economy. So that's the course that you're talking about. Okay. Yeah, definitely. I will have her. Everyone was good. You just liked her the best. Yeah. It was a great day. Now, did you fill in the survey? I had a survey go out to everybody today, actually, and it is on, I believe it's on this page. You could find that survey also. So did anybody else go to the conference that's here? And let me know where you guys are from. Nisha is asking, which states have no redemption period? Great question, Nisha. Now, of course, you're talking about deeds, right? Because liens always have a redemption period, and then there are redeemable deed states where you buy the deed and then it has a redemption period. But there are deed states where you just buy the property outright. Okay. And I'm living in one of those states, Pennsylvania. And Nisha, let me know, where do you live? And then I can tell you like which states are maybe close to you that are deed states. I could tell you Michigan and California, Washington, and Oregon and Nevada. Let's see what other states are deed states. Some states do both, like Illinois, Indiana does both. They will sell deeds and liens, and Florida does both. Most of New York is deeds. that don't have a redemption. Okay, and that's just what I can think of off the top of my head. And Britt is asking, does Philadelphia have over-the-counter liens for sale? No, Philadelphia doesn't do liens. They did one year. They had it on online sale, and they haven't done it since. They do redeemable deeds, and I don't know if they have over-the-counter stuff is not something that I do. It's not something I recommend. Very time intensive. There are people that do it, but it's not as good as it used to be because there's nothing good left over anymore. Most of what's left over is junk. And I don't know of any over-the-counter stuff available in Philly. Philly has sales all the time except during COVID. They haven't had any, right? They keep rescheduling them, but I think they are scheduled for February. But the Philadelphia Sheriff's Office does them. And they have some good information there. Yeah, and Ray says, getting back to Alabama, he says, we get immediate possession and can wait until the first 2 years are up. And so it becomes a tax deed in only one more year, and we can have it rented for cash flow in the meantime. I like Alabama and learning more. Okay, so he's in Alabama, so he's learned the system, and he knows how to make it work for him. And one way that he's found is with the non-occupied, the vacant properties. In some states, they have different rules for vacant properties because they want investors to turn them over to somebody that's going to pay the taxes sooner rather than later. And they don't want them sitting there vacant. So in some states, there are different rules for vacant properties. Okay. Yeah, and Alabama does have both tax lien certificates and tax deeds. And very few people redeem it if it becomes a tax deed because it has been 3 years of additional taxes accumulating. Yeah, but what Britt was asking is which states just sell deeds without a redemption period. Okay. And Cross is saying REI Holdings, and I don't know what you mean. I have no idea what you mean. And what question you are answering that I asked, or what question you're asking that you want me to answer. I have no idea what that is. All right. And Taylor says, is North Carolina a good state for tax lien investing? No, they don't have tax liens, only deeds, and they don't have much. Okay. South Carolina was not, from my experience. Actually, South Carolina is a good redeemable deed state. I do like South Carolina. Okay. So I haven't heard from anybody else but you, Ray, about the conference. Did anybody else get a chance to come to the conference that I did on Wednesday? And if you didn't get to the conference, you can buy the recording of the entire day. And if you get my newsletter came out today. You can get as a matter of fact, Nicole, why don't you just put the link in there for everybody to get the conference recordings? Now, with the conference recording, you also get all the free stuff that the experts gave away. We were just talking earlier about a couple of the courses that were given away. There were courses, there were ebooks, there were a couple of people that gave away consultations with them. So, there was a lot of really good stuff at that conference. And the price to get the replay for the entire day is $149. But guess what? I also gave with that my tax lien investing blueprint. Now, the tax lien investing blueprint is a $497 course. So it's way worth it. And Nicole will put that link in there for you to get it. It's at Nicole. It's at taxlienlady.com/book/conference registration confirm or confirmation. I don't know which it is. One of those. Okay. Okay. LaShonda is asking about Georgia. Georgia is a redeemable deed state, very competitive right now. Georgia is very competitive. But it is a redeemable deed state, not a tax, not tax deeds. It is like a tax lien, though. You do have to foreclose after the redemption period's over. But it is not, Britt, one of those states that don't have a redemption period. You actually pay for the deed when you buy it at the sale. The price is bid up at the sale, but you have to wait a year before you can even foreclose, and then you actually have to foreclose. It's not like other redeemable deed states like South Carolina where you don't have to foreclose. You just, you go through a county process and you just get the deed after the redemption period's over. Yes, Ray says lots of competition in Atlanta and bigger cities, better in small. Yeah, you got to move 2 hours away from the big cities. All right, in counties that are 2 hours away. I like Hall County. I haven't been to their tax sale, and they don't have a whole lot available, but I just like it up there, and that's I like the counties north, a couple hours north of Atlanta. And Nicole has put, actually, she gave you the link right to the shopping cart to get that Investing for Success, to get the replay for $149. And also it gives you the, and Nicole, can you check that for me and make sure that they also get the tax lien investing blueprint and don't have to pay for it? All right, so what else we got? I'm just checking to see if we got any other questions. Yeah, and Ray says that is another thing, not a lot available either. A lot more is available in Alabama for me. Yeah, here's what I suggest, and this is true for you, Ray. Invest in your own backyard. Find out what happens there. Get familiar with it. That's how I started. I lived in New Jersey when I started, and I got familiar with the process there, which is very complicated, but I got familiar with it. And that's where I had success. So start in your own backyard, find out what happens, and find out what's available and work with that. Yeah, and Nicole says, yes, you get the access to the blueprint for free when you purchase the recordings from the whole day of the conference. All right. Okay, let me ask you guys too, while I'm waiting for any more questions. Like I said, I'm here to answer your questions, so just type them into the comments. And I'm just looking through to make sure I didn't miss any. But while I'm doing that, and Nicole, I don't think you know of any that were given beforehand because you would have put them in here for me. Okay, and she has one here from Denise on YouTube. Would like to know my thoughts on buying liens or deeds in Baltimore. There are some nice places in Baltimore, and some places might be risky, so you have to know the area. But as long as you know the area, they do have online tax sales. They usually happen in May. I'm not sure what happened this year because of COVID, but there's Baltimore City and Baltimore County, and they each have their own tax sale. The deeds, I'm not sure about, but those are the liens that I was talking about. And the ones that are online will be on realauction.com. And again, you just have to know the area. It's a little tricky in Maryland, the way they do their tax sales. You bid premium, but you don't pay all the premium at the tax sale. You pay a portion of it. It's called high bid premium. Then if the lien doesn't redeem and you foreclose on it, you have to pay all the premium that you bid before you get to foreclose. So understand that. I have a pretty good training on Maryland in my Buying Tax Liens Online course. And you could get information. I don't know if I have anything specifically on Baltimore, but I do have some training on Maryland in there. And that is the Buying Tax Liens Online course you could get on buyingtaxliensonline.com. Okay, and Ray says, I am back in Houston, Texas now. Could you never get any in Texas in 10 years of working on it? So I went to Alabama. Yeah, Texas is very competitive also because their return is so high. 25% in 6 months on non-homesteaded properties. So it's very competitive. You really have to know what you're doing there. And I do have an agent there. His name is Arnie Abramson. I had a webinar with him recently, a couple months ago. It's in Wealth Building Webinars. We actually did a workshop. I did a workshop with Arnie. Members of the Tax Lien Profits Accelerator get access to the workshops for free, but you can also buy that workshop that I did with Arnie on Texas. And I don't know if you have that available, Nicole, the link for the workshop in Texas, but that was, I don't even remember the price of the workshop, the Texas workshop. I think it was $249 for the Texas workshop, $249 or $297, I'm not sure. But if you're a member of the Tax Lien Profits Accelerator, you could become a member of the Tax Lien Profits Accelerator for $149 a month. It gives you access to a whole bunch of things, right? You get access to all the workshops. It does not give you access to the conference that we did, that's separate, but all the workshops that we do, you get access to. And you get access to tax sale resources, which I'm switching over now to tax sale finders, which is going to give you, first of all, it lets you know what tax sales are coming up all around the country, and it helps you to do due diligence on the properties that are in the sale, and you could get tax sale lists. So tax sale finders is really great. We're going to be doing another training this month for members on using tax sale finders, and I will be transferring everybody from tax sale resources to tax sale finders. Okay, so Nicole has put the workshop with Arnie Abramson. She's put the link to that in there, and she's put the link to the Buying on Taxes Online in there for you, the online training. So you've got those links to check out more. Okay, Eli says, if one buys a sewer or water lien in New Jersey, do they have the right to pay any subs for the property taxes? Well, yes, they do if they're not paid. But here's what happens. Like, let's say a mortgage company is paying the taxes, but the homeowner forgets to pay the water or the sewer. Well, they might not be paying the water or sewer, so you'll get to pay those subsequent taxes, but you won't get to pay the subsequent taxes unless they're not paid, right? So the owner, you don't get to pay them until they're late. But if the owner stops paying them, then yes, you have a lien on the property, even though it's you didn't pay the taxes, you paid the water or sewer. It's still considered a tax lien, and yes, you still have the right to pay the taxes if the owner doesn't pay them and they're late, or if the mortgage company doesn't pay them, right? But if there is a mortgage on the property, the mortgage company probably pays the taxes, and you won't get that opportunity. But as long as they're not paid, you will get to pay them. They are now, taxes in New Jersey are due quarterly on the first of the month that they're due. The next one that's due is February 1st. On the 10th of February, they're considered late, and that's when you get to pay them. Okay. That is the first quarter. And then, each quarter, they're due in February, May, August, and November. And so on the first of those months, they're due, and on the 10th, they're considered late, and you could pay them. All right, Eli, I hope that answered your question. Okay, Tenny says that she's working in Alabama. Okay, so you're working in Alabama, but where do you live and are you close to any other states? So that's what I would look at, because Alabama is not the best state. If you live there, I would say definitely look into it. Okay. And so anyway, the workshop that I did with Arnie Abramson with Texas, he talks about his program, how you can either invest with him. You can actually have a consultation with him if you want, learn how you can invest with him, or become a member of his group where he gives you the first deals that he gets a hold of, right? So that's another way that you can invest in Texas. All right. All right. So while I'm waiting to see if there's any other questions, I think I got all the questions that were already asked. How many people would like to have a consultation with me to find out what's the best way to get started, or maybe which of my programs would help you the best, or if being in the Tax Lien Profits Accelerator would help you. Let me tell you about a program that I have for the Tax Lien Profits Accelerator. I told you that it was $149 a month. Right now, you could get 1 month free when you pay for 5 months. So you do a 6-month subscription, and basically you pay for 5 months and you get 1 month free. And if you do want a consultation with me, you could get one if you fill out the survey that I have. I think it's on this page in Facebook, right, Nicole? Fill out that survey, and then I'll send you a form to fill out where you could get a consultation with me. All right. Okay, and Ray says, let's talk sometime, and I think he means learning valuable stuff from Joanne Musa, and may hire her for coaching when I am ready, and maybe buy in South Carolina. Yeah, I will tell you that I went with a coaching client to South Carolina. Now, that's not part of coaching, that I actually go with you to a tax sale and help you do your due diligence, but I do have a VIP day and a VIP weekend that I call a VIP 3-day weekend, but it doesn't have to be a weekend. It's just 3 days that I spend with you doing due diligence and going to the tax sale with you. And I actually did that with a client in South Carolina 2 years ago. And all his liens, not liens, redeemable deeds, all his redeemable deeds that he got 4 of them, they all redeemed, and he made 12% on his money. So he did well. You do have a better chance of getting the property, though, depending on where you go. We went into a pretty depressed area. It's kind of like when you go to Georgia, if you go by Atlanta, it's going to be really, really competitive. Well, it's going to be competitive there if you go by any of the big cities. So you want to go to some of the more rural areas. Okay. All right, so any more questions? I'm just going to take a sip of my energy drink here, my energy tea. And ask away, guys. This is your chance to get your questions answered about tax lien and tax deed investing. If you have like a really specific or detail, if you need some detail on the answer to your question, you really want me to show you the answer to your question, the way to get that kind of answer without actually doing coaching is to be a member of the Tax Lien Profits Accelerator. I do a group coaching call every month where I actually show my screen and show you how to do stuff and answer questions. I do group coaching there. So that's another way to get coaching from me without having to pay for coaching. And you also get access to the wealth building webinars. Oh, tomorrow night, we have a wealth building webinar with Charles Sells of PIP Group. And it's free to come to the webinar if you're not a member. If you are a member, you get access to the replay. Okay, if you're not a member of the Tax Lien Profits Accelerator, you can be a member just to wealth building webinars for only $49 a month and get the replay. But it is free to come to the live call. So go ahead and register for that call tomorrow night, 8 p.m. with Charles Sells of PIP Group. And Nicole can put the link for the registration link for you in there to register for tomorrow night's call if you haven't already done that. Okay, and Ray says, I think you mentioned it before. How much money do you need to buy in South Carolina, the client that you talked about? Oh, okay. He bought 4 redeemable deeds for $15,000, just under $15,000 actually. I think you do need to do a $500 deposit, at least in this county that we went to. We went to Marlborough County, and the seat of Marlborough County is where, you know, the capital or seat of Marlborough County where we went to the sale. There wasn't even a nice hotel to stay in. I had to stay in a really dumpy motel. That's how, and there wasn't a nice restaurant. So, you know, forget about that. That's the kind of place we went to, right? But they all redeemed, all these properties redeemed. Okay. All right, Tenny says she lives in Alabama. If you get a tax deed and it's occupied, how do you approach the people? Carefully. That is not a question for me. That is a legal question. That is a question for an attorney in Alabama. Okay, that's a question for an attorney in Alabama. And also, with the people that are in the Tax Lien Profits Accelerator and have access to tax sale finders, you also get an analyses. You get access to 3 professional analyses and 3 professional interviews each month. And the analyses are actually white papers. The interviews are videos with professionals. They're usually attorneys. The analyses are, like I said, a white paper, something that you read. It's usually written by an attorney, and it covers things like this. They cover things like one of the things that you have to do after you get a tax deed is quiet the title. So they cover that in different states. They're written by attorneys in different states. I think there is something about Alabama. There's something in there about the judge in Alabama that just back in the summer overturned tax sales in Alabama because of COVID. So make sure that if you are a member that you look at those, because you can access 3 of them, each one of those a month. And I will be switching you over to tax sale finders where you will have access to them. Okay. And yeah, Marlborough County, Ray, is where I went in South Carolina. That was 2 years ago. And I have another coaching client, by the way, who went to a lot of the other counties in South Carolina and got a lot of redeemable deeds in the counties. He had a lot of money to spend. So All right. And Nicole also put the link into the survey for you to take the survey. Yeah, and when you take the survey, if you want a consultation with me, if you take the survey, let me know. Send an email to me and let me know, because this survey, I don't know if I could find out who actually filled in the survey. So just send me an email and let me know, and then I can send you a link to fill out a form to get a consultation with me. Okay. Yeah, Ray says he has an Alabama attorney for you. And Ray, you could put that in the Facebook group. Tenny might not be in the Facebook group, so you could put that on the Facebook page. I do have a Facebook group, Investing for Success. It is a free private group. And actually, Ray, that is probably the place for it. And Tenny, you can join that group. You just have to go to, Nicole can put the link in there for you. And you just have to answer some questions. There's like 4 questions and agree to the terms. And the reason why we do that, because it's free to join the group. So we want to make sure that the people that join are actually there to share information on tax lien investing and not sell people things. So you have to agree to the terms. Yeah, LaShonda, you could take the survey. And then after you take the survey is really, it's not to find out which product is the best fit for you. It's just to find out how I can help you best going forward. What kind of information you most want, like what type of stuff you want me to bring to you when I have these conferences. And then when you take the survey, as a thank you for taking the survey, I'm happy to give you a consultation to find out, what's best for you, what's the best first steps for you to take. And then all I will do then is send you something to fill out that will help me do that. And then you'll get a link to schedule the consultation with me. Okay. All right. Yeah. And what I would do, Tenny and Ray, I would take that conversation into the Investing for Success group. And Tenny, if you're not a member of that group, Nicole has just put in the link for where you could go and ask to be a member of that group. Okay, Ray is already in there. Okay. Yeah, and Nicole has put in the link for you to take the survey to get a consultation, get a link to the consultation with me. And the survey, it's only 3 questions. It just asks you if you're a member of the Investing for Success group and what topics that you'd like me to cover in future conferences, and what else. And it asks one other question. Oh, it kind of asks where you're at. What you're looking for, so that I know what to bring to you. All right. Okay, so before we wrap it up, this is last call for any other questions. And Nicole, did I answer all the questions that were given ahead of time? I think I did. So just let me know if I didn't. And okay, last call for questions. To give you guys one more minute, I am going to take another drink here. And are these Facebook Lives helpful, you guys? Are they helpful? I am going to do these the first 3 Tuesdays of the month. I'm going to take the last week off every month of doing these Facebook Lives. Just want you to know that now. But I will do these all the other Tuesdays of the month. Okay. And then on Thursday in the Investing for Success group, I'm going to do a little mini training on Thursday. So tell me, what is your biggest challenge when it comes to investing in tax liens? And I will do a training on that in the Investing for Success group on Thursday. Okay. As a matter of fact, go into the Investing for Success group and tell me there. All right, and I will do a training for you on that. So that's another way that if you need a more specific answer or a more detailed answer to a question, you could get actually a mini training on it in the Investing for Success group on Thursday at 2:00. All right, the first 3 Thursdays of the month. Okay. Nicole says, I got all the questions. And Britt Lewis, you asked Atlanta. What are you asking about Atlanta? I don't know. We already discussed Atlanta earlier. Are you asking? I'm not sure what your question is about Atlanta. So if you put that in there real quick, I will answer it for you. And then that will be it for today. That will be the last question for today. So yeah, Britt, just let me know, what is your question about Atlanta, because I don't know what it is. Okay. And yeah, it looks like people are just joining us now. We're just about to end this Facebook Live, but guess what? I did answer a few questions, and you'll be able to watch the replay as soon as it's done right here in on the Facebook page. All right, so Britt is asking, do they have tax deeds or liens, and is it a good city to invest in? First of all, it's the whole county. In most of the country, everything is done on the county level except for New England and New Jersey, and parts of New York. But they do, we mentioned that, we talked about that earlier, Brett, and you were here. We talked about Georgia is redeemable tax deeds. So it is a redeemable tax deed state. They sell the deed at the sale, and you have to wait a year. And then after that, you do have to foreclose. So it is a lot like a lien, although they call them redeemable deeds. And we do have another question, although I said that was going to be the last question. But you know what? I can't refuse these questions. I just love answering your questions. All right. Diaria 2. Did I pronounce your name right? Diaria 2. Does Virginia have tax deed liens? Thank you. Virginia, I believe, has tax deeds. And I don't go around with all this information in my head for every single state. Virginia is a state that doesn't have a lot available. So I will check on that, but I believe Virginia, and I think Virginia and West Virginia do two different things, and I'm not sure off the top of my head. But guess what? It's in my state guide. And it's also in tax sale finders. But I will find that out. I'll tell you what I will do. I will find that out, and we will post it here on this page. Okay. All right. And with that, and I'm glad I was able to pronounce your name right. Thank you for joining me. And when we're done, I'm going to go find out about Virginia and let you know. Okay. Bye, everybody. See you next Tuesday. Maybe I'll see some of you Thursday in the Investing for Success group.